Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greeting everyone. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Krishna Sanyadi Prihastomo. I am now a student of Hospital Administration Magister program in Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta University. And firstly, I would like also to congratulate the Himpunan Alumni Magister Manajemen Rumah Sakit or Hammers for their 20th anniversary. In these occasions, I would like to discuss about one journal from Waste Management and Research published by the Sakit publisher in 2024 with the title Operating Roof Greening Initiative, the Old, the New and the Way Forward, a Narrative Review. This journal is quite interesting because it highlighting the waste management, especially the operating room, and how they manage the improvement of operating room waste management to improve also the emissions, also the waste and the management of it. As the introductions, this journal is indexed in Scopus in Q1 and have relatively high impact factor of 0.86 and H index of 97, a quite high reputation journal in waste management. For the introductions, the healthcare waste is an overlooked and exponentially increasing issue in hospital, especially in the developed country. And hospital contribute disproportionately to the total healthcare waste as they are highly energy intensive, consume large amount of resources, and produce a huge amount of waste and increase as a result of growing and aging populations and also convenience of disposable medical products. Hospital itself in developed countries generate about 1% of a nation's solid waste and 2.1% of it is greenhouse gas, also known as the GHG emissions annually. Interestingly, the operating room itself contribute disproportionately to these emissions through the release of anesthetic gases into the atmosphere, the use of energy-intensive medical equipment, special lighting, and 24-hour operating schedule. But those are excluding the added emissions generated indirectly through the transport of waste to treatment facilities, the incinerations of waste, and the release of methane gas from landfills. Incineration process itself produces a huge amount of GHG emissions, and for your information, 1 kilogram of clinical waste produces roughly 3 kilograms of carbon dioxide. Also, 75% and 90% of all hospital waste is comparable to the domestic waste, and much of this has the potential to be recycled. And around 85% of the hospital waste is non-hazardous, 10% infective, and the remaining 5% is non-infective but hazardous, according to the WHO. And unfortunately, in the OR, up to 90% of this general waste is misclassified as clinical or hazardous waste, resulting in suboptimal recycling and cost up to about 20 times higher to treat and dispose of the waste appropriately. Whereas if we can classify this really strictly, we can assume that we can reduce the cost and we can manage it really good. This growing interest in the literature around perioperative greening, the effectiveness and how this can help reduce the healthcare carbon footprint while maintaining sterility standards. Some approaches have targeted the composition of the waste and improving segregations at the source of generations. Others have focused on a reuse of single-use products or other resulting recycling strategies. The aim of this journal is a literature review to quantify and qualify current OR waste, understanding existing practices of waste segregations in OR, especially in Australia, and how this compare with international practices. Investigate best practice in waste management initiative, understand the financial implications of these initiatives, and determine potential barriers to the greening initiatives and how this can be improved. The material and methods of this journal, they use a literature search and they search English journal which have keywords of operating rooms and its kind. Also solid waste, waste management, waste recycling, and any other keywords related to the waste management. They found about 84 journals, and you can see in this diagram that most of the journal is produced in the developed country, very few from the developing countries. The result and discussion is also interesting. The generation and composition of healthcare waste in the DOR. This journal explained about DOR waste is broadly divided into clinical and general waste. The clinical waste include the subcategories regulated medical waste, infectious or pathogenic, the sharp waste, pharmaceutical material, cytotoxics from body fluids or pharmaceuticals, and radioactive material, in which later in this journal they will also categorize it with colors. General waste is not hazardous, contaminated, or infectious, and it does not require treatment and is disposed directly to landfill. Each OR has the potential to produce up to 2,300 kilograms of waste per year. About legislations, this journal also highlighting many legal or regulations, the local in Australia and also international regulations such as the WHO regulations. Identification of waste here in this journal, they highlighting the local identification, the simple one. You can see it in this table one. There are general waste, clinical waste, cytotoxic waste, and radioactive waste. They divided into colors so they can easily see which waste bag belongs to which category of the waste. The treatment of the waste, incineration, is superior to other forms of treatment, as it is the only modality that can treat all type of waste, excluding the radioactive waste, and it is significantly reduces weight and volume of the waste transferred to the landfill. The compositions of the OR waste, about 33% of the general waste is plastic, while 66% is paper. And other journal say that 39% is disposable linens, 7% is paper, 26% is plastics, and 27% miscellaneous waste. Clothes accounted for about 5%. And of the recyclable plastic, 40% was polyethylene, 21% polypropylene, 10% is polypropylene and polyethylene copolymers, and 23% is the PVC, with the remaining being non-recyclables. This plastic waste is important to be categorized because this is also related to the management of recycling of this waste. Here we can see that in table 2 the suitability of treatment techniques by the type of waste. So there are about 4 types of treatment: incinerations, autoclave, chemical disinfection, and encapsulations here. And these tables also explain about its advantages and disadvantages. Also, we have also in table 3 that indicates that up to 84% of the OR plastic are potentially recyclable, which is of course will reduce the waste. Here in figure 4, we can see that most of the waste are general waste, not the clinical waste, so they can also go directly to the landfills. Also, interestingly, they found that no correlations between the duration of the surgery and the quantity of the waste generated. The authors stated that robotic hysterectomy is one of the advanced surgical procedure, which are often much shorter than operations and then the other operations, produce 30% more OR waste than the average of other approaches. Also, waste may be higher in teaching hospitals compared to the non-teaching hospital. Table 3, as I mentioned before, there are a lot of type of the plastics, and here you can see in this table that most of the plastic are recyclable. Also interesting topics is the anesthetic waste. About 25% of OR waste is generated by anesthesia, of which 40 until 60% is recyclable. A large portion of this recycled waste is glass, material that involves carbon intensive process to produce. Also, other topics is the anesthetic gases, because volatile anesthetic agents such as the sevoflurane, desflurane, and others are a poorly recognized GHG. And desflurane itself, as an example, has a global warming potential 20 times that of the sevoflurane. In 2005, the cumulative emissions of these anesthetic gases was estimated to be equivalent to almost 1 billion kilograms of carbon dioxide in Canadian hospital, and demonstrating a focal point for future greening initiative. The parenteral anesthetic medication also give a high contribution of the waste. The unused and the discarded parenteral anesthetic medications are the problem, because drug waste is expensive and it contributes to the environmental contamination with the potential adverse ecological effects. So in table 4, explain about summary of the environmentally friendly solutions about the anesthetic gases and actions to be taken. You can see here single-use devices, the sharp waste, overage waste, and water waste. The current and the leading OR waste management practices is including mainly on 5 R's: reducing, recycling, reusing, rethinking, and researching. This concept is really important, and this very highly explained in this journal, and very interesting, and those mainly to reduce the waste in general. So here is also one of most of the interesting things, that there are financial benefits of specific environmental initiative. So here you can see that about 5 to 15 billion US dollars can be saved a year for combination of energy saving interventions, increased recycling, plastic, metals, paper, cardboard, others waste, or waste, and reprocessing of single-use devices and others. A study also shows that many savings can be achieved in 1 year, and this is of course can reduce the cost of the hospital waste management. Of course, there will be also barriers to the healthcare waste management initiative, including the lack of leadership in this hospital itself, and perceived infectious risk, concern about increased workload, because managing waste also give you another workload. And to be short, and for the conclusion and summary for this study, OR can improve waste management through reducing volume of the waste, improving waste segregations, reusing certain medical equipment, recycling, rethinking outdated practice, and dedicating time to research and developing innovative strategies to reduce the ecological footprint on the environment. The ongoing obliviousness of the how healthcare impact our ecosystem represent a very real threat to the longevity of our healthcare system and our planet. The future of OR greening is intricate and requires multidisciplinary collaborations between all healthcare personnel and hospital management, and adequate leadership and guidance, implementation of an environmental greening team, staff education, and a predilection for new and novel environmentally friendly technologies. If we connect this journal in Indonesian setting, we can also adopt some of the concept that reducing the waste, of course, through recycling, rethinking, researching, and many other concepts can also give us benefits to reduce the overall cost of the healthcare in general, especially in the waste management. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.